And good morning, Dee. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, buddy. How about you?
Very good. First of all, when we to start out, I just want to, for all of those that are in the 52 Creator Program, this is week 10. Pretty exciting. There's a lot of things that we were going to do last week, but as you know, so my apologies. Our family went through a tragedy. This weekend, we finally put some closure to at least that part of it. It's the longest funeral I've ever gone through in my life. But rightfully so, because it was probably the most important person in my life, other than the obvious stuff. But he had been right there with all of it. You can't put one person over another. But at the end of the day, a very important person in my life. I'll be speaking that day. That's going to be hard. Saturday. So his son is going to do the eulogy, and I think that's amazing.
Right.
And we're going to close with a close pastor and friend of the family. Even the Lynns have been just so incredible here locally. Um, so because of that, the trainings that we were having last Wednesday, we have family coming in and all this is going to be tonight. So we kind of have a makeup. And then Saturday, all of the things that needed to be up into this point of the challenge of the 10-week challenge or week number 10 is also going to be there on Saturday. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. How are you?
Buddy, I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. So,
Very good. And we're going to get into today. By the way, for those that join either live or in the replay, there's some really cool changes that are coming about next week that we've been working on in the background. I've also got some consultants that I'm working with, and it's going to really help us. We're increasing our team, which is cool. But I'm going to make some announcements right now on some of the things, especially those that are going to catch the replay, that if you're a creator, we're going to help you get there. So join the 52 Creator Challenge. One of the programs that's absolutely free is the group, which is Link Boss. Put that in the comments, make it sticky. And if you have a question, feel free to ask it, regardless if it's a replay or not. We're always going into those questions, or we get notified. Feel free if you're stuck, if you're wanting to go pro and can't, or you're already pro, or you're having some issues. Feel free to ask us questions or DM us, and we will do our best to help you with that. So we're going to get underway. Any announcements or updates with you, D?
um, no, buddy. Actually, not a whole heck of a lot. Just I mean, we're definitely in the in the dog days here of the winter spring thing, and good time to get a lot of stuff done. So
Yes.
definitely looking forward to keep plugging away on stuff. So
Yes. Yeah, and I want to talk about that because one of the systems that we built that obviously help creators is it keeps everything in one location and bunks you on the head as to, especially if you're doing things that are low productive during productive times, all of these things that are going to help you. And that is the link board. So we have a huge announcement next week, which is really cool. We're also running ads this week because we want to grow this group. And here's another reason why. Like-minded people, okay? Like-minded people coming together, helping one another, locking arms, joining forces, and helping you raise the capital needed. We're working with another company right now with something like that because they need capital, right? Also, hopefully, here in the near future, locally, we may have a new location. We might no longer be where we are right now. I'll discuss that in the next couple weeks. But that's really cool just because of some of the things that we're going to be doing. And a lot of that is online virtual events, which is amazing. We have what's called a live wall coming. We have some sponsors that are going to help us with that. And that's going to be an incredible program in itself. And my lovely wife, oh, you put it in one of those. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I always want to be prepared in the morning, and I forgot my water. Anyways, So that's coming. So what is that going to entail? We're going to have live events to where big, Zoom with you see the people behind you or whatever, and bring it on next level. Matter of fact, Lance is one of them that has signed up for this. He's a next level guy that is going to help people scale businesses. So he's next level, meaning some of us that are creators that maybe you're in the beginning. Okay. The whole idea of the Boss program is to level you up to an expert level. So even though today's topic is on becoming an expert, or if you're an expert, even if you're getting there, what do they say about the definition of an expert?
Yeah.
Time-wise.
What's that?
Time-wise. How many hours?
Oh my God. I mean, years,
It's 10,000. 10,000 hours equals an expert, right? Some of you, though, could possibly be an expert in 1 year just because of who you are, and it comes natural. There's that, right? Think of singers, right? Because they just have this gift, but then they can train that gift. So they're probably an expert a lot sooner. Does it mean that it really takes 10,000? It's just they've come down to that is the number for a lot of people.
Right.
And some of you are already there, but it's time to go pro with that, right? We're all experts in something or things that we do. So I'm really excited about it, of these announcements that are going to be coming. I did have, like I say, a hiccup in my life personally with a loss. And that's another thing that I want to talk about is how do you handle stuff like that, right? These are real things that come up. And this is another reason I think it brought that whole idea of systems to another level for me, because there were some things that were working, even though I was not, especially mentally, right? I experienced a loss that affected me traumatic. I mean, it was just seriously one of the worst things I've ever had to go through. It is truly the worst loss in my life. So, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, this is being done. That's being done. And it was kind of really cool that was happening. And we're going to get even better at that. Right. Because my goal is to also help people outsource themselves, gain their life back. We talked about last week, taking mini retirements now, living out loud, living now, because we're never guaranteed a tomorrow. So one of the ways to do that is obviously having systems and automations.
Well, the one thing is that everyday life or life in general can definitely throw curveballs or unexpected stuff or whatever you don't foresee. It happens. It's called life.
Yes.
And how you overcome it and deal with it and get on with it makes you who you are.
Exactly. That you hit that right on the head, because I don't know if she's going to join today, but I have a client right now that she actually gets paralyzed with fear. Or let's say a problem happens. She literally threw up that's it, I quit. It's kind of like that. So she's come to me now for advice, but you got to nix that. So if that's somebody that's hearing this,
right,
that's a bad trait. So you can repair that. You can resolve that issue, but we got to go deeper as what's causing that, because she kind of comes unglued early and willing to give up, or gets frustrated fairly easy.
Well, and it's funny because like something like that, the more she's able to work through those problems and gain some confidence, that hey, I can do this. I mean, obviously bigger problems scare everyone, but when you constantly have to keep working through them, I mean, they're not as big as you think they are.
Every problem you solve makes you a better person. Like, I think anyone can hear that, especially like Susie, martial artist. You started out as a white belt. It looks impossible, right? You're seeing stuff. It's like, I don't know if I can ever do that. I remember when I did my first backflip as a kid. I don't even think I could do it today. I wouldn't want to try yet. Anywho, and I'm like, really? Was that easy? And then immediately I ran up the tree. Have you ever seen somebody and then do the backflip?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know, like, it came natural to me. Like, and martial arts was a really big thing for me, especially as a youth. I loved it. But at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't know how to do that. And in one day, I now know how to do that. And I could almost make people believe that I've been doing it for years. Does that make sense?
Right.
And that's why I want to talk about this expert thing, because I could have gotten, I know this sounds silly with backflips, but believe it or not, there are people out there that's what their stick is. They're an expert at doing backflips. And it's like, what? Well, there's a lot of reasons why people want that. And now I don't know how you would monetize it, but regardless, people could have saw me do that and think that I've been doing that for years. And in one day, I only learned it in one day. And here's the key to that. I tried before, and there was a little bit of fear, like I'm going to land on my head, right? It was the right instructor. Like, this person was so good. He's like, no. Here's all you have to do, and you'll just land it.
Right.
And this is without without mats. So think about that. This is outside. So, I mean, could have probably broke my neck, right? But he was so good at it. And all of a sudden, he says, I want you to play it in your head. Watch what I'm doing and see it in your head as you're doing it. And it was just bizarre. All of a sudden, bam, I had it. Anyways. All right, we're going to get into it. So, by the way, good morning, Susie. Anyone that joins, feel free to say hi. If you have any questions or concerns or whatever, feel free to put them in the comment. Tonight, once again, all of the makeup trainings as well. Personal loss in our family has taken me away multiple times. This weekend is the funeral. So starting on Sunday, there's a new level now, because once again, the loss of my brother has really changed me in a profound way. And so many people, it's not just me, so many others have said the same thing. It's like, there's something about this. And I don't even know how to put words to it, but it certainly made me more aggressive, and including getting the things that we know are going to help creators get where they need to go, because we're on this movement. We're in week 10. Once again, if you have a question, put it in the comments. We're going to get into it. We are going to keep this till 9:30 today. And I promise on that, it's going to be a hard stop on 9:30. Once again, double training tonight in the Boss program. So if you're not part of the group, feel free to do so. Once again, if you're catching this as a replay, say replay, and put your questions in there if you have any. And also, if you want to join the 52 Creator Challenge, just go to their website, sign up, and then you're going to be notified this Saturday as to where all of the new trainings are going to be. Everyone's going to learn that tonight that's in the group. And then anyone that signs up for this Creators Challenge, we are in week 10. We are in 10, right?
Yeah.
I think we are.
I think, yeah. No, I think so too.
So that is where we are. So let's talk about, first of all, there's two things to being a creator. You got physical products, and you have digital products. And the physical products, like what we have with Grub Guys, that is a physical and a digital product. So I believe there's really three. You can have physical products. You can have just digital products, meaning like a course. Right. You're a trainer, a coach, a consultant. There's such an easier way today. Matter of fact, I know if I was a CPA, I'm talking to a higher level CPA for my company now. If I was a CPA, I would do it differently than all of them do right now. And there might be somebody out there doing what I envision, but if they did it this way, they would scale way better. Their company would be worth a lot more. And I think there would be a huge increase in rev for their company if they made a digital version of their company online. Okay.
Right.
However, like Grub Guys, yes, it's physical. It's a physical product. I also have a few other physical products that are coming out, but it's also digital. Okay, so people go on, they can learn, they can see, the whole shopping cart experience that's digital today. Opposed to the old style cash register.
Right.
I think you probably.
Yeah, no, it's a hybrid.
Yeah, it is. It's truly a hybrid. And here's the other thing. So with the digital products. So physical products, which are referred to as goods. I know when I used to work in a retail industry, we had what's called white goods and brown goods. White goods being like refrigerators and stuff like that, and brown goods being computers, VCRs, and stuff like that. Yes, VCRs. That's how old I am. Digital products are e-goods. Anything that you purchase, an ebook, a course, anything that would come to a device, and that's how you get your product. So your product is digital in nature, okay? And then there's hybrids of that as well. So if you're a coach, you might have a physical book that's coming out, and there's a really cool way. I'm going through that now of how you utilize that book and leverage it to its maximum, and that's something that has been really profound as far as what I've been learning as well. So let's get into it. Physical, as far as an expert, let me ask you this, Dee, would you consider you an expert in your field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I would. And it's funny because I was going to ask, how many fields do you think you can be an expert in? Can you be an expert in more than one field?
Yeah.
Right.
Depends on the person, but yeah.
Right. But do you think there's a limit to that?
Yes.
I
think there is a limit. Because a human being has a limit, right?
Right.
If you're an expert as a runner, a marathon runner, you only are going to be so fast, right? So there always is a limit. That being said, it helps if it's like kind. So what do I mean by that? By the time we get out of this year, I and you personally and together are going to be at a different level than we are even right now, right?
Right.
So your expert level grows exponentially as time goes on and you do more things. Once you're an expert in one field, let's use Susie for a moment. She's an expert. I'm assuming she's an expert in her martial arts, but she'll actually go to other levels. So if she stays within her field, maybe she's an expert at martial arts, but she could be an expert in a weapon. Okay. So do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
I know that I remember being taught how to take a gun from somebody. Now, mind you, it's got to be in front of you, right? A gun or a knife. That's a threat. Yes.
Right.
And when I learned it, I'm like, I want to do this over and over and over again until it's like I can almost do it with my eyes closed. And I did that. And I don't know if Norm's on here, but Norm says, well, this is kind of funny. And he pointed, I don't know what it was. It was, let's say, a screwdriver. It was one of those battery operated or cordless, I should say, drill. And I took it from him before he could even blink. And he's like, oh my God. Like he realized that it was true. Now, if somebody now I still wouldn't say I'm an expert, because when it comes to life and death stuff, you know what I mean?
There's definitely, niches of it for sure.
Yeah. And it levels the playing field. It gives you a little more hope, right? Learning or knowing something, just like with.
Well, the other thing too is it gives you confidence. If you're working every day, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I said it so easily. If you're working every day, no matter what your field is, and you're 20 years in, how can you not be an expert in that field?
Exactly.
You know?
Well, there's somebody I've thought of that is in a field, but he dabbles. So do you know how like time in, right?
Yeah.
Imagine somebody only putting 5 hours. They've been doing something for 20 years, but they're putting 5 hours in per week. Whereas if somebody was doing 70 hours a week, they could actually be over them in 5 years. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense.
So we got to just assume they're putting in the work is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, no, obviously you got to, yes, obviously you got to put in the work, This is why a lot of times you'll see somebody like come out of nowhere and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, my gosh, just a year ago we didn't know them and today we know. And they think like they were an overnight success when
in reality, there was a lot of behind the scenes. Look at us. We have a lot of money, a lot of time, a sick amount of time invested in certain SaaS systems, right? So by the time they really hit a multiple level, you know, kind of like Alex Hormozy and stuff like that, people are going to be like, oh, wow, you know, they created this. Yeah, what they don't know, that was a 4-year, 5-year, for me, almost 10 years on some stuff. TBR morphed into something. Campaign Cannon morphed in. Campaign Cannon will be a system of its own. But a lot of these programs kind of morphed into a different program. But what they don't know is all of the blood, sweat, tears, money that was invested into these things, you know? Now, the cool thing is there's a huge return on spend. So that's what I'm after. Like, if I'm going to invest in something like that, I want to know that the reward out of that is going to be there, you know? And I would rather build a SaaS system personally than gamble with Bitcoin and Ethereum and some stocks. Now, some stocks I would invest in. And I'm not going to do stock picks today, but I'm not doing it now. I'm investing everything, time, money into the programs that we have. And I highly recommend somebody, if you want to be an expert, you got to put in the time. So number one, hey, matter of fact, you have the ability, just go to banners and you can type in and then you add it. Put in number one, time. And if you could just keep up with this, that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I believe you do. So go to banners. You'll see where you can create a banner. See, we do stuff in real time, folks. But yeah, so time is number one. Time is number one. You got to put in the time to become an expert. So if you're a videographer or a photographer, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to make far more teaching that than you will actually being a photographer, like a wedding photographer. I'm not saying you can't make money at it. And if you love doing it, use that to get your experience, your testimonials, and all of that good stuff, and showcasing your work. Now you're making money at the same time, putting in the time to become that expert. But as soon as you become that expert, or you feel that you're a few steps ahead of other people, that is when you're going to want to create a digital product, which one of my favorites is a digital product called a course. You're going to create trainings and you're going to sell those trainings, and you're going to help that person get from A, not knowing what to do, all the way over to Z. Here's the finished. You're now going to know exactly what to do, how to materialize it, how to create accountable income coming in, right? Or predictable income coming in. And at that point, within time, you're going to be an expert. Just like Susie.
You know, the thing is too is it's got to be quality time. And I know we talked about that like in, a while ago, another broadcast, like how to maximize your day, how to make the most out of your time. You know what I mean? And, just because you're spending time on it doesn't mean it's meaningful.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I have even some people that we discuss business together, colleagues type stuff, and we talk about time. And there's being busy, and there's being productive.
Right.
You want to be productive.
That's right.
Even if it's not a matter of, it's how are you going to move that needle, and what activities are you doing right now that's going to get you there, to the finished product. That's so right. We all can be busy. You could read a book at 9 a.m. That's not the best time to do that. Read that unless you need a strategy that you're working on, meaning just-in-time learning. I'm okay with that. Meaning something's got you stuck. That's not where I'm getting at. But if you're walking your dog at 9 a.m., I'm sorry, but that's an activity that maybe you could have somebody else do, hopefully. I know for my wife and I, we bring our dog to daycare, and she loves that because it socializes her. And then we pick her up, and she's just so excited to come home too. So it serves two things. It gives her something to do, and it allows us, because, you know, the things, my wife works for me, and she works on her stuff. She's got stuff that she's working on as well, plus an organization. And it's that. Even my wife, like with SCAD, she didn't know what it was 10 years ago, and now she knows more than local doctors because they just don't specialize in it.
Would you say Lori's an expert?
Not yet.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because no one really knows. Remember, being an expert, you have a solution to the thing. There is no real solution yet, right? There's some anomalies. There's some, she's doing a lot of investigation work, and she is helping the ones that are panicking. She's doing more about awareness. So yes, she's an expert that way.
That's what I mean. Right.
And she's an expert because she went through it. She knows what the signs are. She knows what it feels like. She knows how fast you got to go get help, because it's not a normal heart attack, by the way. So is there a normal heart attack? The one that we, you know,
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, we want to keep her here, right?
Right.
Plus, it's giving her that purpose of giving back and helping and making a tragedy into a give back, you know, make a difference with it. Like my brother's death, like I could just some way, somehow, I'm going to make sure that he never died in vain, that we're going to do something amazing that's going to help others that are faced with stuff like that. Were you able, remember, you have to save it first, and then you can click on it once and it'll bring it up.
Well, yeah. No, I had it up.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't notice. Okay, so number one, you got to put in time. You got to put in quality time, as Dee said. Number two, this is so important. You got to frame. Frameworks is you want to synthesize it. You know, you want to synthesize the process. What's going to get them? You can add it to that. What's going to get them to that promised land? What is the process? And this is a really cool scenario here that we can go even further in tonight. We have what's called the free line, right? So what are the things that you need? I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody wants to be a creator, right? So one of the things I'm going to say is, hey, to be a creator, let's say a digital creator, Tim, I've got this knowledge. I'm this. Matter of fact, I've got one guy that's really good with a bow staff, right? So it's like, okay, so how many people are you going to serve? Well, almost in every martial arts, a lot of them anyway, they all have, and he's so good, and he needs a camera. Now this is the CV. This is the CV1 Sony. I love Canon. It doesn't matter. You could use your cell phone, but you need tools, right? So you want to be able to frame what's needed for you first. Okay. What's needed for me to teach this? What am I going to need? And be frugal. Don't, you know what? I need a $4,000 camera. I need a camera guy. I need a sound person. No. You're not there yet. Okay. What do you need now to get going? What can you do right now to be able to teach what you have? Now, if it's digital, for instance, if I wanted to teach like Business 101, that's simple. I'm going to create a course. What's the first thing they're going to need to know? If I'm going to teach business, I'm going to say,
right,
what niche are you in?
Exactly.
Right? That's just Business 101.
Right.
What are you going to name your business? What's the proper way of naming your business, right? Now that you got a name for your business, what's the website going to look like? How are they going to get to you? Where are they going to find you? Where is your audience? Do you get how that works? So you just frame it out. What is needed to make sure, and this is key. Even like with Susie, you want to show the industry. You want to show, here's what I'm going to solve for you. And then you got to do this. Is this right for you? So you want to know, number 3, is this right for you? Meaning you're going to want, this is part of the free line. You're going to want them to know, yeah, I can do that. Okay. Let's say somebody wanted to be a photographer. Here are the things that you need to know about photography. Here are the pluses and the pitfalls. Here are all of the things that you need to know. Oh, and by the way, Here's what you can expect to make as a photographer. By the way, you're going to be a starving artist in the beginning. That might get rid of hundreds of people. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you made money immediately. You know what I mean? There's that people. There's, matter of fact, that especially in the business space, entrepreneur space, you have a lot of people that want to get rich quick. Yes or yes, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's just not the way it works. Now, some people can. I know my original mentor back in the day, he went from qualifying for welfare to a millionaire within a year, high six figures within 6 months, meaning 200,000 or more, right? In a year became a millionaire, right? So there are people that can do that. It depends on what you're teaching. It depends on what you're doing. Okay. Look at the lady with Spanx.
Right.
I forget her name. Now that was a physical product, a lot harder to get it to the marketplace. Oh, and I want to bring that up. When it goes back to being an expert, I will tell you, digital, really lean into this. Digital is faster. It's easier to get to your avatar and digest the material. 100% easier. Okay. A physical product, think of Grub Guys. How long did it take us to source and find the product we wanted to offer our avatar?
Yep.
Avatar being our customer.
No, for sure.
What is the process it's going to take?
Right. And also depending on what the product is, that could dictate your market size.
Yes. And this goes back to our, retire now strategy, meaning there are some people that did it right and got pensions, back in the day, meaning they save, but they sacrificed, right? They long hours, probably didn't see family much, probably didn't get to go to games. Maybe they were working nights. What, what I mean? Like they didn't see that. That matter of fact, that was preached to us way back in the day. That's the old way of doing things, but that is a sacrifice. Today, you don't really need to do that, right? You could become a creator, outsource a lot of your life, have systems in place that gives you freedom.
Right.
But you do have to put in the work. But you have flexible hours now. You just got to schedule it. Just make sure you're working on those productive hours. Okay. Is number 3. So number 3, in your free line, you want to make sure it's right for them. Like with Susie, if there was a female that's afraid of everything, that program, unless she can get into their psyche and change that program might still not work for them, regardless of what they learned, right? Okay. If you can't get past your own mind talk, it's not possibly going to work. Okay. So we have making sure. So you're fleshing out the product for yourself. So what am I going to need in tools? What am I going to need to deliver this in a good enough quality? Yes, Susie, trauma and triggers. Let's bring this up real quick, and then I'll bring it out. That is great. So if I was Susie, I would start there. First, I would explain, here's the program. Here's what you're going to learn. Here's what this program's going to do for you. You're a person right now that is probably going through or experiencing this. Then she could go to her next avatar. Or you're this person, and this is what you're experiencing right now. Do you see how that works? And then you go and you explain how the program's going to work. So the free line is just getting the mind right and getting their belief system and understanding what the program's going to do for them and giving them wins up front. Then you invite them to go deeper to become an expert of their own. Does that make sense? Now, one thing I would do if I was Susie, I would want to make it tribe-based. So if I was Susie and I was fleshing out my product, I would say, okay, what do I want out of this group? Who am I going to teach? What is going to be the outcome? What is going to be the reward, right? But what if I can make a tribe, meaning they never go away? In some martial arts, you become a black belt and then they stop there, possibly. They form their own martial arts school. Yes, most of them do that.
Right.
Not all, but most of them. Or somebody says, okay, I got what I needed, I'm out. Susie could make this where they could become instructors of the program. and make it this evergreen. So it's no longer just Susie doing the program. It's kind of like, what was that one? Body Fit. Oh, shoot. I forget his name. Tony Horton.
Yeah. Oh my god. Shoot. Holy crap.
Fit, body had something in the as body.
Yeah.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows. Oh, come
This
on.
guy's
Where's our
crazy. Dude,
people that used to
He
show
was
up?
everywhere.
Yeah. Well, whatever that was. Oh, I almost had it. Body. Anyways, doesn't matter. It started out with him. And then he got smart and he says, ooh, I need this evergreen because I can't sell this someday. Exit. And I believe he did. I think he
Right.
sold the program. Almost had it. Fit Body or anyways, doesn't matter. It was an incredible program, but he got new instructors and it made it all about the program and not about the person. Make it about the program, not about the person. Okay. And that is going to make it to where you can actually have an exit. So Susie could build this program and someday sell it for a lot of money on an exit if you do it right. So once again, they're going to learn. So you're going to just filter out the people that the program is not right for them. Okay. You're going to, what is it?
P90X.
No, that's not it. Oh, maybe I have the wrong guy.
Tony
It doesn't
Horton,
matter.
Tony Horton was P90X.
Yes. And he also did that. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. It's something body. They had started selling. First, it was the program. Then Beachbody. Susan gets something. I don't know. We'll think of something. But yeah, Beachbody. So then they went into merch. So watch this, Susie. They created Beachbody. So it was all about getting your body into shape. That made multiples of millions. Then it's like, okay, what else can we do? They then had their own protein shakes and you name it. So they went into the merch side. They created a culture. But instead of that guy, and pretty soon that'll hit me too, that started Beachbody, he ended up having more trainers come in, making it evergreen. How funny. I also did it. It was actually a great program. So yeah, and by the way, think of how you did this, Susie. I don't know if you purchased it when it used to be CD based, right? Today, logins, brother. Come on, logins.
Right.
So, which I love. It's so much easier today.
One thing is too is then you get access to it right away too. You don't have to wait a week.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to do this. Then wait a week for all the DVDs to show up. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Was it really Carl? And yes, it was CD based. So think about this though. Creators back then, it went from infomercials, CDs. So they sold the CDs, DVDs. So it went from CDs, DVDs. You know, it used to be a CD, so they would talk to you, and then a book that went along with it.
That's right.
Then it went VHS to DVD. Look at what we can do today, digital. And you don't need to be a coder. You don't need to create your own. Stay away from WordPress. Sorry. Stay away from that. Easy to break in. But at the end of the day, and by the way, we have that fixed. Tonight, we'll talk about that as well. But at the end of the day, flesh it out. Frame it out for you first. How am I going to train? How am I going to teach this? What am I going to need? Then, what am I going to do for the client? Where are they now? Where would they be? Who's my avatar? What mindset do they have? Like she was talking. Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I tore my ACL because of insanity. Nothing against the program, but yes. Matter of fact, that was a huge program, huge. And now, what is it now online, D? They're like killing it right now.
Yeah, dude.
We're going over. The X one. Oh shoot. Anyways, my son's done it. It went viral on Facebook. The guy didn't know. He didn't realize it was going to do that.
Right.
It's huge. But yeah, Insanity was a great program. But if you build culture around it, they won't leave you. They're always going to be there helping one. Then you can have the ones like in Susie's program, the ones that level up and they become incredible. They could become trainers in the program. So you can make this any which way you want. Okay. And then lastly, you got to actually make it. Now you framed it all out. Now it's time to make it. Make the product. So, and then at that point, lastly, 5, you got to launch, which at that point you let the world, this is what I have. This is what it's going to do for you. Here's where you go to get it. Okay. Utilizing the free line, the free line. No, 5 is launch.
I'm on it.
So fantastic. Yeah, P90X is incredible. Incredible program that actually started first, then Insanity. So Susie, watch this. He just struck a deal with Shaun T to bring in Insanity. It's like another level of P90, right? So I would encourage, we're going to be doing that with some of the programs that we have. We have a facility that's coming, which I'm so stoked and excited about. And, but at the end of the day, we want to be able to take some of the things that we're having, finding somebody that we know they have something like he did with Shaun T, and said, I'll tell you what, let's JV, and we're going to create this program together. And what was number 4? Number 4 was make it. 4 was you need to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's reiterate. Number 1, time. You got to put the time in to become an expert. By the way, D, do you need to be an expert before you start selling your advice?
No.
No. You only have to be. How many times has somebody picked your brain, including when you're in school? When you were in school, you weren't a teacher, but somebody would say, hey, I know you know how to do this, and there's a test coming up. Can you help me with that? Does that make sense? Like, it's kind of like that. Maybe you're a videographer and you're far from an expert at being a videographer, but you're far further ahead than most. And by the way, everything is video today. Would that be a good place to be? Number 2 is you got to frame it out, both sides. I got to frame it out as a curriculum. What's this? What am I going to teach? What kind of tools do I need to teach? Am I going to use StreamYard? Am I going to use look over the shoulder type stuff? Am I going to need a camera overhead? I've got a mic overhead. I've got a camera overhead. You might not need this. We have different cameras, but at the end of the day, Susie's going to need, matter of fact, Susie tonight, I'm going to tell you some of the things you're going to need. Okay. And it's low budget. Today, you can have a budget of $1,000 or less. $1,000 or less. Where else can you do this?
Right.
But first of all, do you believe this? $1,000 or less and still make a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
To start. Now, I'm not talking about not reinvesting the profits as they come. I'm talking starting. Could you create $1 million business with 1,000 or less?
Yes. With a GoPro and a smartphone.
Without a doubt. Tai Lopez did it.
Right.
I think he was faking it till he made it too, and he still did it. Now he's an expert. He can prove he knows how to do some of these things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the only thing I would say about him is he jumps into the shiny object. Now he's teaching crypto stuff. I don't think I'd want to do that, but just use that as an example. We told her what 4 was. And number 2, frame it out. Number 3, make sure time and quality is number 1. Number 2, framing it out, both sides, your side as well as your avatar. And 1 second, let me just make a note. And then number 3, is this right for you? So when you're teaching that free line, you're going to weed out the ones that it is not right for them. Because then when you start running ads, and you'll learn that down the road, but when you get to that level where you run ads, that's going to help you with who you're going to run ads to as far as your audience. Okay. Number 4, you got to make it. And by the way, here's a good lesson for Susie. Susie, you don't have to make the whole program. Make one module. Okay. Maybe right now you make just the free line for now. And then when you go into the paid side, now you're making the paid side and you make one module, and all you have to do is just be a few steps ahead. Okay. And then number 5, you got to launch it. Once you launch it, that's where the magic happens. And congratulations, you saw something all the way through.
That's right.
Okay, most people do not see it through. That's the key. Grub Guys, we saw it through.
Right.
We gave ourselves a deadline. Okay. Pandemic hit. Dine Hop is going on the back burner because restaurants are closed. Dine Hop would have failed like a lot of companies did when the internet bust happened, because the internet speeds were not there and the quality of the internet was not there to support these companies. However, a lot of these companies that were then or back then have now resurfaced, probably with new owners,
Right.
because they went bust and it was a good idea. It was just wrong time.
Right.
So once you launch, you at that point you finished it. Now you want to scale the thing. Where else can you bring it? Can you get merch? Think of P90, think of Insanity and all the other ones that are happening right now. And at the end of the day, what else can I offer? A lot of people go with the t-shirts first. Probably your business has done that, D.
Right.
What was your first merch for your company?
T-shirt.
Yeah, and we haven't even done that with Grub Guys yet. We're coming out with merch soon, but we haven't even done it with Grub Guys, and we could have done that immediately just because of the nature of that type of business. Okay, I think that's about it. Next Wednesday, few really cool things and announcements is going to happen. So once again, if you folks catch this on the replay and invite, we're going to be going a lot faster. We got some makeup stuff to do, and we're going to get now way into the nuts and bolts of creation, which that is my favorite. And yes, I do believe that I am an expert, especially in digital side of creation, and including SaaS systems. So at this point, that is where we're going to go into now. And we're going to make it super easy so that you're not overwhelmed, confused, frustrated. We're going to help you with that as well. So we're going to see everybody next week. Once again, we got some announcements next week, which is I'm excited about. And then hopefully we have the other thing that we can say. We'll see. And otherwise, we'll see you 9:00 Wednesday. And by the way, for those that are catching these, what other times would you want to see a live in the evening? And if so, not just in Link Boss, but is a live to catch. Give us some time spots that you think would be good. We'll see if we are willing to do that or not. So anyways, D, always a pleasure. We got to get you a better background. I'm trying to read your notes back there. I'm kidding. But we will see everybody next week. And once again, if you're overwhelmed, frustrated, whatever, put it in the comments as to what you need, and we're going to help you with that as well. Everyone is at a different level. So we also had some new members in the group. Make sure you welcome them. And if you are a new member, or even if you've never done it, I encourage you to do a video. Believe me, it's going to help you with your journey. Do a video introducing yourself, what niche you might be in, if you can share that, and what you feel that you would like to get out of the group as well. But more importantly, just introducing yourself. Trust me, it's going to help you with creating video, because you got to get past some of those fears. We'll see everybody next week. Thank you for catching this pod. We'll see you on Wednesday, 9 a.m. sharp. Peace, everybody.
Yep. See you all next week.